Right then, it's United, it's Burnley, it's Premier League. This is a bit of a tactical preview about how we are going to be doing it and how we are going to go and get that there victory and that there 3 points. So we need to bounce back, don't we? As the title says, we have to bounce back against Burnley. It's as simple as that. We are still in the hunt for the top four. And I actually do think that United have got the opportunity to get into the top four. I really want to see Bruno Fernandes dragged over the line. And, you know, there's talk of this other little kid coming in as well. Do you know what? Get him and get all his mates from his school team too, because we need all of the players. The fact that we're even thinking about someone like Hannibal Mabry making his debut at 16 years of age, we've got to have more players brought in. Simple as that. But you can only piss with a cut you got. Even though it's a todger at the moment, we are playing Burnley with it. So let's see if we can do something with it. Right, the last result was 2-1 against Leicester at home. They came back from 1-0 down. Bit of a spirited fight from them. It's their first win in 5 Premier League games following 4 straight losses. 14th in the Premier League this season, 12 losses so far, only won twice away from Turf Moor this season. United in our last 5 Premier League games, we've got 3 wins and 2 losses. Marcus Rashford is out with that stress fracture. Ollie said it's not something that he's ever seen happen before. This is just unlucky for Marcus. The projections of when he's coming back seems to be quite long at the moment. I'm not sure it's going to be anywhere near that long that he's out for. He's had some trouble before and played through it. That floating bone that they're talking about in his ankle, that's from when Henderson went through him in that home game and didn't even get given. It might have been given as a foul. I don't think he got booked for it, though. Absolutely ridiculous. Injuries are going to absolutely tear us to pieces, aren't they, at the moment? Ollie did mention this in a press conference. He said, we've had many injuries to big players this season. Marcus now, Anthony's been out for months, Paul's been out for more than half the season, Scott's been out for months. It's just an unfortunate situation that we're in. It might be because the window's open, that we might look at something short term that we can do to take us through to the summer. That's a complete change in tactic to what we were saying a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at the numbers as well because we've had so many injuries. So if the right one's there and they're fit for us, then we can buy. If there's loans available, I think this is very important, it might be possible. We've got players here as well that are chomping at the bit. Players that are back in the squad. Eric Bailly was obviously back in the squad at the weekend. Dalot came back in and featured against Liverpool. So it looks like he's coming back to full fitness. Someone like Timbo, I would like to see on the bench, considering the numbers that we're lacking in midfield. Get him 10 minutes somehow against Burnley, or get him in the under-23s again and give him another run out for 90 minutes and see what the crack is. Key player is going to be Fred this week, without a shadow of a doubt. Fred's been brilliant this last 5 or 6 weeks or so. He's really stepped up and we're really seeing an absolutely quality footballer. High number of tackles per game, high number of interceptions. Key passes are actually getting more improved with him as well. We just got to stop the guy shooting and I think we'll be happy days. I've got a few questions which I'm going to be coming to in a second from the Patreon group, but let's have a quick look at my starting 11. I don't think there's many surprises in here for everybody, to be honest. It's going to be Williams, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof and Maguire in defence with De Gea in net. Great to see some passion from him as well. Really annoyed. I'd like to see him play that sort of angry if we can going forward. Fred and Matic, who I think it's going under the radar just how good Matic has been. One matter because it's at home. It's a team that's going to sit back and make it difficult for us. Mason on the right, James on the left, Tony Marshall down the middle. That's how United need to line up. That's how I hope we line up. So let's see if we can actually line up like that. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup game coming on the weekend and Manchester City next week. So it's important for us to make some progress in the league while we've got the opportunity in the middle of this week. Right, let's go and see what the questions are saying. Is Andreas Pereira Ashley Young 2.0? What, is he the worst player at the football club? The thing is with Young is that, with Pereira, is that he's a good footballer, where Ashley Young really wasn't a good footballer, but his decision-making really level him down, don't they? Jables, with all the ongoing injuries, do I think Mason will step up like Rashford did when he first broke through? Well, the opportunity's there for him, isn't it? Absolutely. Anyway, we could persuade Berber to dust off his boots. Unfortunately not. I mean, if you saw the podcast that I did with him and was speaking about it, he actually carried on I think it might have been after we finished the podcast and we were speaking about it, and he was just talking about, when you try and step up your level of training when you've been off it for so long, your ankle hurts today, your knee hurts tomorrow, your hip hurts the next day, and it's just hard to get to that level that you need to for the Premier League. I think he might have even said on the podcast, like MLS, yeah, probably, but even there it's still a ridiculous level compared to sitting on your ass and watching TV, innit? Would I go for Cavani in January? He's just handed in a transfer request. Find that very, 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 very interesting. And Cavani smacks a little bit of Sanchez for me, but I probably would, to be honest. Nimpo, how is Woodward still in a job after spending nearly 500 million on players that don't play for us? Is that the figure? Fucking hell, that's nuts, innit? I don't think they'll sack him. He should be first to go before Ollie, though. 100%. But it won't happen. I'd love to see Edwin van der Sar in that role, wouldn't you? With reports coming out suggesting that we're looking for the 23s players now due to how looking at the 23s for how thin our squad is, who would I say looks closest to being a first-team player or a squad player? Levitt, Laird, Gunnar. I've seen talk this morning about Damani Mellor and both Maybury as well, and I think they're probably a step away still. Levitt, Laird, Gunnar, those are the ones for me. Do I think that De Gea will be targeted on set pieces by Burnley? Absolutely. Would like to see 4-3-3 in this. Would be time to bring Pereira out and maybe try Gunnar or Levitt, depending on their fitness. If not, we're going to have Fernandes or any new signings. Yeah, totally. 4-3-3 is what I'd really like to see us try. I think Fernandes, Fred and Matic would be a decent midfield. Don't think you're getting Fernandes in there this week, though. Should Bay get a start, considering Burnley will probably target Lindelof with long balls? With Matic in there, it's not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. It'd be very interesting to see if he puts anybody in midfield from the recognised defenders, to be honest with you. I'm not sure he will, but it'd be interesting. Cleggy says, with recent form in mind, do I think that Matic is buying into Ollie's vision for the team or putting in a shop window performance, and how important is he against a physical team like Burnley? He'll be massively important. And it could be a bit of both, to be honest. There was talk that he was on the for sale list and now he might not be, so maybe he's not. Would I agree that fully fit our squad is the second best in the league? What? No. What? Absolutely not. No. I mean, I honestly think our team's fully fit, probably still level or just below Leicester, realistically. And that's when you think, is that everyone on equal form? I think it's below Chelsea's. It's certainly below City's and Liverpool's. And I think it's probably, with everybody fit, below Tottenham's. We're fifth or sixth best squad in the league. Simple. With the players available now, does not a 4-4-2 have to be considered, given how light we are up top and in midfield? I think a two-man strike partnership is a good idea, but I still think you don't really have the midfield to play a 4-4-2. Asimo, any word if we're bringing strikers to compensate for the huge blow dealt? Not heard. If Fosu Mensah's coming back to the team, does that diminish any possibility of signing defensive mid this window? I don't think so. I mean, the hinging on someone who's been out for so long and realistically hasn't played that many games at centre mid is a ballsy and half call, isn't it? If we don't sign anyone this window with Marcus and McSauce out for the foreseeable, where do I see us finishing this season? Could be bad. Marcus was having a proper breakout season, wasn't he? So it could be bad. Do I reckon Chris Wood on Lindelof in the air is a threat to us? Yes, but I think that's what Matic screens quite well for that. How good has Fred been? Fred's been class this last month or so. If we get Bruno and Fred keeps improving, can I see Ollie making him a first choice player, and do you think he has the quality, or would you push him back to the bench and sign someone else? If so, who and why? I would still go with someone like a Niguez, possibly. You don't necessarily just have a starting three. I think you always rotate through a little bit and change every now and then, depending on who the opposition is and what you're expecting and this, that and the other. So it will be really interesting to see how that goes down. But I think I could see a midfield where McTominay's in the 6, and you've got Fred and Fernandes either side. I think that would be a really good midfield. Addy, apart from Greenwood, is there anyone in our academy that can step up and play as a backup striker until Rashford is back? Let's be honest, without we negotiate for players, we'll only find short-term replacements by the end of next season. I don't think so. I like Damani, but I don't think he's got the required quality to be in the first team. Ali says, more anti-Glazer chants going to happen in the ground, I presume. Will they have any effect if it's in every match? They might, but realistically, the process was never going to get to the level it was in both 2005 and 2010. So there's just a general, like, what's the point sort of feeling around the ground. Fair play to everyone for airing them. Everyone's right to sing what the fuck they want to sing at the match. And it's good that the entire crowd seems united in that. I don't actually know there's a United fan out there that likes the Glazers as an owner. That didn't used to be the case. When we was competing for Champions League, I used to fucking argue with people all the time who would be like, look what we've won under them. And you're like, in spite of them, mate, not fucking because of them. The Ronaldo transfer was a wake-up call for a lot of fucking people, but there was still people sleeping on that because we had Fergie as manager. The problem is we're worth so much that it doesn't matter. You might be able to get a chairman out of Blackpool. You might be able to change the ownership at Oldham, but you're not going to fucking make a massive difference unless you've got $4 billion or you've got. I mean, what credit rating do you need to get a £4 billion loan? Matter to be the key in this game, says Niall. For me, yes. I know we need reinforcements in a lot of areas, but not with Rashford out and James not being accustomed to playing at this level of intensity for a whole season. Surely a winger is also a priority. I know the Sancho rumours are there, but I can't see us getting into the top four if we don't strengthen, and he won't come if we don't have Champions League football. Should we not just try and go for Ziyech? Reports saying he's available for 47 million. Whether he wants to come or not is another question, but surely we should try. Maybe one, maybe we've already tried. Two, maybe that fee's a load of bollocks. Three, maybe they've done that. They do seem to be doing a lot of heavy research into what people are like behind the scenes. Maybe they've looked into behind the scenes stuff and they're not feeling what they're seeing. Will Bay be given a chance and wrestle Lindelof or Maguire? I think he probably still needs more minutes, but I wouldn't be against it. As good as he's been, do I see Fred being a regular start of his side trying to challenge for a title? Maybe. I'm willing to give the guy a role because of how good he's been of late, yeah. Do I agree with Keane when he said that Lampard doesn't doesn't get half the blame Ollie gets just because he's English and they have lost 8 bloody games? Klopp also gave Ollie some press yesterday before saying he sees how good he's been given everything he's had to put up with. Look, tactically, I think Klopp probably saw that United did all right. I'm not going to say we did brilliant. I'm not going to say it was a masterclass, but United did nullify a lot of what Liverpool's threats were, and we effectively stopped the way their fullbacks play the game. We had some parts of that game where we did really, really good stuff, but on the ball, just look at the fucking involvement of Pereira and just go, that's purely not fucking good enough. And that is just down to how good some of the players are. Better players, you're going to get better results. You put Pogba, McTominay and Rashford into that team and I fucking guarantee we managed to at least score a goal. Then where that comes on the back end of that, I don't know. Do I believe that we'll end up strengthening this window? I don't believe they will. I think they should make Ollie director of football. Hang on. What fucking qualification? Do you know what? Do you even know what a director of football does? A director of football is basically an agent. He's an agent that's got the contacts to go and make things happen. What qualifications has Ollie got? You say, okay, well, he signed 3 good players. So that's still a team. That's the scouting, the analysts, Matt Judge and Ollie are all doing this scouting. I don't get this call for him to be director of football. I really don't. Do I think if we walked out of games instead of still supporting the Glazers' pockets, maybe they'll start listening? Nope. I really don't. Look how much the money that they have lost because of the sponsorship deals with like Adidas and stuff because we're not in the Champions League. That means more to them. That probably literally is more money to them than they get through your Man and Your season ticket, for example. So, no. I really don't think they give a fuck. The TV revenue, the sponsorships, all makes that much money. They really couldn't give a fuck about us. And that is a sad indictment on it. Let me know in the comments your score predictions. And I guess I'll see you at the game tomorrow. Laters.